All right, let's talk about avoidance and corn addiction. No, I don't mean actual corn like corn on the cob, but there's certain words you just can't say here on TikTok. So we got to play within the rules. Many avoidants have a serious corn addiction, especially dismissive avoidance. You see, actual physical intimacy with their partner, well, that requires vulnerability, meeting expectations. Physical intimacy boosts oxytocin, the bonding hormone, and it brings people closer together. It's a bonding activity. Well, dismissive avoidance, fearful avoidance that lean heavily dismissive, they have those physical desires and that physical drive too. But the thing is, the vulnerability and the increasing closeness that coincides with physical intimacy with their partner, well, it becomes very triggering, gives them a ton of anxiety, but they need that release. Well, that's where corn comes in. The adult content that you might find online at certain kind of websites, for example. It can be very addictive, and people that are avoiders, dismissive avoidance, fearful avoidance that lean heavily dismissive, they can find themselves addicted to that corn, that type of material. And it gives them that release. It helps satisfy their urges without any of the vulnerability that happens to coincide with real physical intimacy with their partner. Plus, it gives them a dopamine hit. It gives them that dopamine high. Dopamine is the reward hormone. It helps you feel good and helps numb any of the negative emotions that they don't want to face. See, they are avoiders at their core, which means any negative emotions, especially the core wound of shame that stems from consistent childhood emotional neglect, they want to avoid it. They don't want to face it. They don't want it exposed to anybody. And that dopamine fix that they get from the addictive behavior is a distraction, and that dopamine helps numb that shame and that pain so they don't have to feel it. So they can become quite addicted to that type of corn material, chasing it over and over and over again, almost compulsively, to get that dopamine high, to get their urges met, but to also create emotional distance between themselves and their partner. It's hard to have true emotional intimacy with a person when you are feeding your urges through corn online rather than with your partner being physically present with them. So yeah, it is very common for avoidance, especially dismissive avoidance, to be corn addicts. Of course, it is largely male dismissive avoidance, but female dismissive avoidance can be corn addicts too.